Hello friends, welcome to my channel once again. In today's video, I will teach you all the poem A Tiger in the Zoo written by Leslie Norris. Before I read the poem, let us have a short introduction to the poet. George Leslie Norris was Welsh poet.
And a short story.
He is one of the most important Welsh writers of the post-war period. He was born on 21st May 1921 in the United Kingdom and died on 6th April 2006 in Utah, United States
of America.
So this poet was born after the end of First World War. The First World War started in the year 1914 and the year till 1919. So the poet was born in the year 1921 after the First World War. So now let us read the poem A Tiger in the Zoo. In this poem, the poet talks about a tiger in the zoo,
And the tiger
and in its natural habitat, that is surrounding, in its natural surrounding. So this poem is a contrast between a tiger in the zoo and the tiger in its natural habitat. The behavior of the tiger in the zoo with that of the tiger in its natural habitat. Now let us read the poem. He stalks in his vivid
stripes.
The few steps of his cage. So being locked inside, he takes only few steps, unlike his natural environment where he can move freely in the jungle. So the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. On pads of velvet quiet. On pads of velvet, velvet is because the tiger's paws are compared to the velvet which is very soft. So the tiger's paws are compared to the velvet. Paws are very soft. So comparison of the tiger's pads to the velvet. So the figure of speech is metaphor. On pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Quiet rage meaning silent anger. Rage meaning anger. Rage meaning anger. The tiger is angry, but when a person is angry, he cannot be quiet. But the poet has used quiet rage is to show that though the tiger is angry, he cannot show his anger. He cannot express his anger being locked inside the cage. If he was to move freely in the jungle, he would have growled, he would have scratched anyone if he was angry with his paws, with his nails. So the tiger being locked inside the cage, his anger is suppressed. Quiet rage meaning his anger is suppressed. So suppressed anger on pads of velvet coiled in his quiet rage. Anger cannot be quiet. When you are angry, you are furious. When you are angry, you are furious. But since the tiger is locked inside the cage, he cannot show his anger, and therefore it is said that his anger is suppressed. He should be lurking in shadow. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. He should be lurking. Lurking is another word which shows the action of the tiger. These words, stalks, lurking, they are the action words to show the action of the tiger. He should be lurking in shadow. Lurking meaning to stay hidden, to lie hidden. Lurking meaning to lie hidden, to remain hiding. So now why the tiger is hiding in shadow? He is hiding under the shadow of trees. He should be lurking in shadow. He is hiding in shadow in order to catch his prey. Sliding through long grass. Sliding meaning to slip smoothly. To slip smoothly. Sliding, he should be hiding in long grass because he should not be noticed. Sliding to slip smoothly. So he should be hiding in long grass in order to catch his prey. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. Where he should be hiding? He should be hiding where the water flows of the river or maybe of the stream, where plump deer will come to drink water and the tiger will pounce on it and kill his prey. Near the water hole where plump deer pass. Now the tiger will be having the plump deer for his food. Plump meaning very fat. The fat deer which will come to drink water to the stream, the tiger will devour it. The tiger will eat it. Plump meaning fat. Plump meaning fat, very fat. Okay. Where plump deer pass, he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. Now in the first stanza, the poet talks about the behavior of the tiger who is locked inside the cage, and suddenly in the second stanza, the poet has described the tiger which is in its the tiger's behavior in its in his natural environment, how the tiger should be behaving. He should not be locked inside the cage, but he should be allowed to move freely in his natural habitat, and he should be allowed to catch his own prey rather than feed him inside the cage. So he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. I hope you have understood this stanza. Let us go to the third stanza. He should be snarling. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws terrorizing the village. Now, how the tiger should be behaving in his open field, in his natural environment? He should be snarling around houses. Another word which describes the action of the tiger in his natural habitat. He should be snarling. Snarling meaning to growl, to make noise, to make sound angrily. The tiger, when he's angry, he will growl. So snarling is snarling meaning growling angrily, growling angrily, growling angrily. He should be snarling around houses. Around houses meaning the tiger is in the village and he should be growling around houses. He is around, in and around where there is location of people, where there is a vicinity of people. He should be snarling around houses. At the jungle's edge meaning the end point or the corner of the jungle. At the jungle's edge, corner, so he should be making sound, he should be growling at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Baring meaning showing, baring, showing his white fangs. He should be showing his teeth. Tiger's teeth are called as fangs. So he should be showing his white fangs, his claws, nails, his claws, terrorizing the village. So in this way, by growling, by showing his nails, by showing his fangs, by showing his claws, he should be frightening the villagers. Should be frightening the villagers. Baring his white fangs, his claws, baring, showing his white, baring, showing his white fangs, showing his white fangs, he should be terrorizing the villagers, the people in the village. Terrorize meaning to create fear in the minds of people. People should be fearful by hearing his growl, by seeing his white fangs, his claws. So terrorizing the village. But what has happened? This should be his natural behavior. This should be the natural behavior of the tiger. But what has happened inside the cage is that, but he is locked in a concrete cell. His strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. But since he is locked inside the cage, but is because he should be behaving in this way, terrorizing the village, terrorizing the villagers. But since he is locked inside the cage, concrete means semantic, a hard constructed cell meaning a small room. A small room. Let me write it down. Cell is a small room so but he is locked in a concrete cell. He is locked in the cage in a small room. His strength behind bars. His strength, his energy, his strength, his energy is limited inside the cage, inside the bars. Why his strength behind bars? His strength behind bars meaning his energy is limited. He cannot do anything with his so much energy. He cannot growl. He cannot terrorize. So his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage. The only thing what he can do is he just walk up and he pace the length of his cage. His strength is limited, being locked inside the cage. His strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, as if he is measuring, stalking the length of his cage, meaning when we see the tiger walking inside the cage, it looks as if the tiger in his anger, he is just trying to measure the length of the cage. He is just ignoring visitors. He is not looking at the visitors who come to see him and enjoy themselves. Let us see the last stanza of the poem. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Now what has happened is during night time, the zoo is closed. Now there are no visitors and the tiger can hear only the last voice, and that is of the patrolling cars, the people who patrol the zoo, the people who are on duty to patrol the animals which are inside the cage. So he can hear only the sound of the car which comes to patrol animals, to patrolling meaning to keep a check. Patrolling cars meaning patrol meaning to keep a check. Patrol to keep a check on. To keep a check on. So these are, he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars. There are patrolling cars even on roads. Police van comes during night in order to patrol. If any untoward incident or any mischievous, to keep a control over any mischievous things happening during night. So in the same way, the tiger hears the last voice, the last sound, that is of the patrolling cars, and he stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Stares meaning to keep on looking for a long time at one place. So the tiger in his thought, the tiger imagining his natural environment, he may be staring, he wants to come out of the cage, and therefore he looks and he stares with his brilliant bright eyes at the brilliant stars, very bright stars in the sky, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Brilliant, brilliant, repetition of words. So the figure of speech is repetition. And stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. The figure of speech is repetition. Repetition. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant star. Stare meaning, let us write it, stare, to look at a place, to look at one place for a long time. To look at one place, for a long time. So the tiger is looking at the shining stars, at the brilliant stars, and he is very much desirous to be This lines tells us that the tiger is very much desirous to be in his natural environment and is fed up being locked inside the cage. So this poem is written by George Leslie Norris, and even we have one story about the goat by name Chandani. Abu Khan provides her everything that she wants being provided to her, but still she is desirous to be to run to the jungle, to be in her natural habitat. And what she says is, death in an open field is far better than life inside a small hut. So this is all about the poem A Tiger in the Zoo, written by George Leslie Norris. I hope you have understood it. If you have understood, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video.